Good day, I am Angela Marcelo Pinili from AV English, second year Black 1. And the poem that I choose to analyze titled The Fire in the Eyes by Robert Frost. Stylistic is defined as a study of a different style that are present in either a given utterance or a written text or document. The essence and the usefulness of stylistic is that it enables the immediate understanding of utterance and text, thereby maximizing our enjoyment of the text. It requires the use of traditional levels of linguistic description such as sounds, form, structures, and meaning. Stylistics deals with a wide range of language varieties and styles that are possible in creating different texts, whether spoken or written, monologue or dialogue, formal or informal, scientific or religious, and etc. Fire in the Eyes by Robert Frost. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. So let's know who is Robert Frost. This poem was written by Robert Frost, a great American. It is a popular literary piece on account of its contradictory subject matter of Earth's destruction and the ending. It was first published in 1920 in New Hampshire. This poem expresses the profound idea that the world would end in one of two ways, either by ice or fire. Robert Lee Frost, mostly known as Robert Frost, was born on the 26th of March in San Francisco, a Californian city. He was a bright child of William Prescott Frost, a renowned journalist, while his mother, Isabel Moody, was a Scottish immigrant. His father worked as a teacher for many years. Robert's father was also an unsuccessful candidate for a city tax collector. Sadly, William died due to tuberculosis in 1885, when Frost was just 11 years old. After his father's demise, the family moved to Eastern Massachusetts to stay with their grandparents. Robert Lee Frost attended Lawrence High School and graduated in 1892 as valedictorian poet. It was there he learned character types, distinctive speech patterns, and regional customs. Right after graduation, he attended Dartmouth College, where he became a member of Theta Delta Chi fraternity. Later, in 1897, he attended Harvard University, but unfortunately, he was dropped out twice due to his fragile health. Later, he received his Master of Arts in 1918 and his doctoral degrees from Oxford and Cambridge in 1957. Throughout his educational career, he remained a brilliant student. He used to share his ideas with Eleanor Wilde and later fell in love with her. He started his writing career at high school, while his first professional publication, My Butterfly and Elegy, appeared in The Independent, a weekly literary journal. Robert Lee Frost married Eleanor Wilde, with whom he shared his valedictorian honors. The couple got married in 1895, after which Frost tried his luck in the teaching profession. He spent 2 years at Harvard but could not complete his degree. It was difficult for him to raise a family, therefore he tried his hand on chicken farming at Midway, Massachusetts. Unfortunately, that business also met failure. Another calamity hit when his children died. Despite failures, loss, and frustrations in business and life, Robert never gave up and pursued his interest in poetry resolutely. Robert Frost continued his effort and kept on polishing his abilities throughout his life. His untiring efforts and magical pen won much less popularity for him. After passing a rife career, this iconic figure breathed his last on the 29th of January 1963 at Peter Bent Brigham Hospital. Robert Frost's life was marred by a series of tragedies. First, the early demise of his father, later, the deaths of his children, and then the loss in business. However, all these hindrances could not destroy his writing talent. He graduated from Lawrence High School as a poet but could not polish his poetic abilities due to the unfavorable luck. Robert Frost added more colors to the world of literature. Despite having a traumatic life, he secured a reputable places as a literary man with his creative and thoughtful ideas. His ideas about social outcasts and love for nature are reflected well in his works. The recurring themes in most of his poems are love, death, beauty, man, and the natural world, and struggle. Robert Frost used literary devices that turn to visual and sensual imagery, metaphors, similes, and symbolism to create a unique style. So let's move on and go to stylistic analysis with the features, the linguistic features of stylistic. First, the lexicosemantic level. In line 1 and 2, some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. We can notice that the speaker trying to say that we all have a different philosophy and perceptions in life, that we all have our own interpretations and beliefs on what life do we have after death, and we all depending on what we believe in. In line 3 and 4, from what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor in fire. From the word tasted, it implies that he favored or agreed to those people who inside of fire because he already experienced it, on how cruel the world is. In line 5, but if I had to perish twice, seems like he's confusing because in the first place he doesn't even know how the world will end, then he asking for a second time. Where in line 3 and 4, he said he already experienced it. So why he wants to happen it again? If still the hate he wants to win over the love. I think he just want to have an assurance or to satisfy himself that hate always win and to test or to prove that he's right what he believe in. In lines 6 to 8, I think I know enough of hate to say that for distraction's eyes is also great. The speaker has also experienced hate, a cold emotion, and he knows it can destroy things, particularly the world. At this point, it becomes even clearer that desire is associated with love because its opposite is hate. The speaker seems a lot more tentative about his relationship with hate. He was absolutely certain that he has tasted desire, but he only thinks he knows enough about hate. In line 9, and would suffice. The last line picks up on the idea that we don't know whether fire or ice is stronger. The end of the poem suggests that it doesn't matter which is stronger. Both will do the trick. Suffice means to be enough to bring about some effect. Once you destroy something, it's gone. If you wanted to destroy some document, setting it on fire would do the job. So would tearing it up into a million little pieces. But if you set the document on fire and then wanted to scatter the ashes to the corners of the earth, just to be sure someone would be justified in saying, "Hey, what are you doing? It's over." Interestingly, the word suffice is a very rational and even lawyerly word. The speaker seems to be demonstrating I see, thinking here. If you get a little chill chill off your spine at the end of the poem, that might be why. The major themes in Fire and Ice is hatred and power of emotions. The poet discussed the destructive features of human emotions. He uses the symbol fire and ice to show how desires and hatred contribute to making the world stand at the verge of chaos. Also, this powerful emotion will eventually drag the world toward a catastrophic end. For me, the message of Fire and Ice, as this poem is about the apocalypse. It expresses how the world will end. Some people believe that the world will be destroyed by fire, while others argue that it will be frozen. Initially, the speaker also supports those who are in favor of fire, but as the poem progresses, he remains undecided and mentions that if the world ends twice, the ice can bring equal destruction as fire. The poet very artistically underpins the deep philosophy that we let our emotions rule us, and if we don't control them, they will surely destroy everything around us. The tone of poem is very solemn. It's not a comedic or even tragic. It's a simply declarative. This is assonance. Assonance is the repetitions of vowel sounds in the same line, such as the long sound of O. It's in I hold with those who favor fire. There is also alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds in the same line, such as the sound of F. In I hold with those who favor fire. Gryptological level. A stanza is a poetic form of some line. It's a short poem having one stanza in it. The rhyme scheme followed by the entire poem is A, B, C, B, C, B. There is iambic tetrameter. It's a type of meter having 4 iambics per line. The poem follows the iambic tetrameter, such as some say the world will end in fire. The lyrical quality is short, consisting of 9 lines. The grammatical level that we have is imagery. Imagery is used to make readers perceive things involving their 5 senses. For example, some say the world will end in fire, and to say that for destruction, ice is also great. There is also a symbolism. Symbolism is a use of symbols to signify ideas and qualities by giving them symbolic meanings different from their literal meanings. Like fire, it symbols of desire, and ice symbolize hatred. We have also a anaphora. It refers to the repetition of a word expression in the first part of some verses. And we can see there in the poem that some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. We have also a personification. Personification is to give human qualities to inanimate objects. In this poem, fire and ice are capable of destruction. Therefore, the poet personifies fire and ice by giving them a mind which is capable of destroying almost anything. We have also enjambment. It's defined as thought or clause that does not come to an end at a line break. Rather, it moves over the next line. It's from the line, from what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Also, in graphological level, I forgot that in every first line, there is a comma and a period in every second and last line. And every line begin with big letter. And we can notice that in every first to second, there is a comma and period. But after the line 6 to line 9, there is no comma or pause. It's continued to line 9 with period. There is a lexical repetition. in the first two lines. In some say the world will end in fire, and some say in ice. The some say has been repeated in the poem. We all know that stylistic is the branch of linguistics which deals with different styles, writings, books at different levels. It is said that style is everything. Style is not only related to the person apparel, but also dress of thoughts that define his character. Style is the replica of man's mind. It tells about his mental aptitude and taste. Again, I am Angela Marcelo Pinili from AB English Second Year Black One. Thank you.